Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson, a.k.a. Uncle Tex, a.k.a. Professor Tex. I'm going to jump right into this right now. This is Big Tex Comment Corner. A couple of comments people left, and I'm going to go ahead and speak up on them and whatnot real quick. Probably a little odd. I'm doing this basically Thursday morning, so, I normally never really do it like that, but I'm going to go ahead and do this today. Elephant in the room. Let's deal with this right now. It's going back there to the Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? Drew Brees stunk up the joint again. You know what I'm saying? Again. At the end of the day, and I've said this time and time, I've said this time again, Drew Brees threw 3 picks, 3 of them, right? If you go back and trace Drew Brees and what he's done in the past couple of years, right? In the past couple of years in the playoffs and whatnot, he has not had good playoff runs. Okay? 17, 18, 19, and then this year, then 20. Okay? You know what I'm saying? They barely beat Carolina. Shouldn't have even beat Carolina, obviously, in that wild card game in 17. Well, they would end up where he stunk up the joint in the first half, and then Minnesota ended up having the Minnesota Miracle. Right? The next year, they get to the NFC Championship game. That phantom call it was a jacked up call. Y'all still had the ball, had an opportunity to win. Guess what? Drew Brees throws an interception. He throws an interception. On that was, 17, 18, then 19. What happened? They lose to, then 19. They lose in the wild card round to that of Minnesota. And then this year, beating Chicago and whatnot, and then losing this game. He hasn't looked sharp at all. And nobody talks about that. That's the funny part about it. You got a Ferrari in the back as far as Alvin Kamara is concerned, and you will not run him. Okay? That's a problem that I have. A Thurman Thomas, LaDainian Tomlinson, a Marshall Faulk type of player, and this is a player who still hasn't even cracked 1,000 yards. He's been in the league for 4 years right now. He gets a lot of touchdowns because he's inside of the red zone and whatnot, not being utilized. He only touched about 18, 19, 20 some odd times. You go back and look at the legends, whether it's the great Emmitt Smith, whether it's Thurman Thomas, whether it was Marshall Faulk, them guys would touch the ball in those times 30 some odd times a game, man. Come on now. Why? What are you doing? And that's Sean Payton. It don't even get me started with that. 3 touchdowns. He lost in that game. That defense played good enough. Both quarterbacks were not spectacular. Let me hit you with these numbers real quick. Drew Brees was 19 of 34 for 1 touchdown and 3 picks. 3.9 yards attempt. The longest pass play that they had was from old crab leg Jameis Winston. And Brees has a problem throwing the ball down the field. Now his wife's coming out, he battled the shoulder. I hate when these guys all of a sudden got their women coming out talking about this happened, that happened. I don't want to hear from your damn woman. I want to hear a goddamn thing your woman got to say about nothing. 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 I don't want to hear no excuse. Drew Brees is the first ballot Hall of Famer. Period in the story. He got every damn passing record known to man damn near. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. No muss, no fuss, period. But he's not in Mount Rushmore for the playoff that's been going on. Y'all have won the South 4 years in a row, only for him to end up laying eggs in those particular games. Okay, Brees, like I said, 55% completion ratio. You go back to Brady, 18 for 33, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had a 1 rushing touchdown. But that's because the field was short for him because of the great play by Devin White. That kid, he became a star. And if he can just keep it up and whatnot, I say he's going to be one of the best. He can be one of the best when they're flying around linebackers just everywhere. Almost Derek Brooks-esque, if you will, right? Brady to 54%, 6.0 per pass attempt. Neither quarterback was spectacular. Neither quarterback even went over 200 yards. So Saints defense played good enough for them to win. Brees lost in that game. Brees lost the game for them in that NFC Championship game. Lost that for him. He lost it for them last year with poor play and whatnot. And everybody looks the other way because it's Drew Brees. No, your time is up. He needs to move on. He should have was done last year. Okay? Period. End of story. First ballot, but that's the reason why he's not on Mount Rushmore. That's the reason why he's not on Mount Rushmore. That's why. You know what I'm saying? And it's literally, I don't understand what Peyton does not utilize Kamara. I don't get that. Right? Now, going to the old girl, 33 Lady Ram and whatnot. Like you said, yeah, sis, you right about that. You know what I'm saying? You had Justin Tucker missing 2 field goals. Okay, Lamar Jackson threw the pick 6. So what? pick six happens in games and quarterbacks still come back and teams still come back and win from that and whatnot. The problem with them, they were running the ball. Gus Edwards, they was gashing them. That missed field goal was a major thing. Now you're looking at a game that only had 20 points scored in it. You're looking at their defense did everything that you needed them to do, right? Technically, all the defense gave up was 10 points. They gave up a touchdown, field goal, and a field goal. That was it. The other ones was the pick six and whatnot. Went back for pick six, right? 2 missed field goals. I sit up there and I honestly actually saw it say J.K. Dobbins does not have good hands. I'm not seeing that. Now, I was honestly really looking because J.K. Dobbins at Ohio State, they just ran the ball. I mean, the ball wasn't really thrown to him a lot. But he has an issue with him, or either he just had problems that day. 6 drops. And let's put this into perspective. And you guys can look at this however way you want to look at this, right? You can look at this however you want to look at it. For one, Hollywood, no, he's not. Right now, Hollywood is not a number 1 receiver. He's a number 2 playing number 1. Snead is a number 3 playing a number 2, right? Hollywood Brown, he is not. That's it. The kid has speed, and I think he's some raw talent, but he is not a great route runner, and he is inconsistent with catching the football. This is his second year. 2021 season is a major season for him. The Baltimore needs to snag a receiver, a number 1 receiver, to start helping Lamar out. Why do you think Lamar always went to his tight ends? He does not trust the receiver. He's not going to come out and say it. He does not trust the receivers. He does not trust them. He has no trust in them. And the funny part, I think I said this in one of my last broadcasts, like I said, I think they might have had an opportunity to get Stephon Diggs, and they didn't. They didn't. And that's the difference. The difference is one had Diggs and the other one didn't. And Diggs was the one that basically made the freaking difference and whatnot. They have to get him some weapons. It's ironic to me that a lot of quarterbacks and whatnot, certain quarterbacks don't have weapons and other quarterbacks do have weapons and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I found that pretty funny and whatnot. That you got to beg to get weapons when you got a talented quarterback. You got to beg to get him weapons. No, get him some weapons and whatnot. Try to get. If you have an opportunity to get him weapons, you get him weapons. Okay. And that's what they have to do. The defense is solid. Baltimore, that's their staple. Is defense. That's Ray Lewis. They built that. That's their staple. Is defense. Right. They got that. They had that. Them guys only gave up 10 points. The offense failed them. Lamar didn't have a great game. They still had an opportunity to still win. 6 drops. You can't have 6 drops. You cannot get in the red zone and don't punch it in. And you cannot miss field goals and expect to win the game in that setting. You're not at home. Okay? You're not at home. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. And like I say, man, like I said, Hoghead was asking me some stuff. Yeah, man, like I said, Baltimore, man, with some of the issues that was going on, like I said, that's a part of exchanges and whatnot, hollow snaps. Again, guys start cracking. At the end of the game, it's a big game, but at the end of the game, it's a game you've already played. You know what you have to do. There's nothing really different. It's just the stakes are higher, but it's the same game. Same game. No different than the game you played last week. The stakes are higher. That's all. And whatnot. Some of these guys are asking me, this is the funny thing. I keep getting comments, guys messing with me about this whole Roger Craig thing. And I'm going to sum this thing up once and for all. I keep saying one, and I'm not going to talk about it no more. But this thing's been out over a year and a half or whatever, and guys are still pinging me up about the whole thing about Roger Craig. Let me make it real simple for you, my man. 11 years, three 1,000-yard rushing years, right? I told you guys, everything with Roger Craig, great, good back, and all that stuff could have been a spectacular, great back or whatever like that. He's not in the system for him to shine like that. Just one year when he did that was in '88 when he rushed for over 1,500 yards. I told you guys that. He was Offensive Player of the Year. He was All-Pro First Team. That was the only time. That was his 1 year. 1,000, fine. But even at the 1,000, if you guys want to get up to total yards from scrimmage, he still wasn't number 1 total yards in scrimmage. Even when he did that back in '85. Now, go look that up. His contemporaries, meaning who was in that all decade, but I'm saying his contemporary guys who played that era at the time. But he made the all decade team, right? Second team or whatever. So all those backs, Walter Payton, Eric Dickerson, Roger Craig, John Riggins. Now look at all three of those guys' resume and look at Craig's resume. You have your answer right there, my man. You have your answer right there, Timothy. You have your answer there, right there. A couple of you guys who's been Timmy, Robert McCown, and all that. I said, I'm not taking nothing from that. I said, Roger Craig did not, like I said, Roger Craig did that 1,000. That's fine. That's great. That's good. He was the first that did it. Fine. He has the high action, high knee run. He had that. I don't put guys in Hall of Fame. I wouldn't put guys in Hall of Fame just because he won 3 rings. Yeah, he won 3 rings. You don't put them in there just because they had 3 rings. Let me quote something from what Deacon Jones said once upon a time. Deacon Jones stood up there and said, he broke down the Green Bay Packers. He said they was not the most talented bunch there. They was not. They wasn't the most talented bunch, but they worked great as a unit. They worked great as a unit. Why do you think it took a lot of them guys to get in the Hall of Fame as long as a lot of them guys got through playing in the 60s? A lot of them guys didn't get put in the Hall of Fame until the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Until the 80s. And it's only really one that really that was like Mount Rushmore as far as an offensive player is concerned. That was an offensive tackle, and that was Forrest Gregg and possibly Jim Taylor. But Forrest Gregg was considered one of the best tackles to play the game. His thing speaks for itself. Guys like Jim Taylor, a lot of them other guys know. It took Paul Hornung forever to get up in I think 85, 88, whenever he got up in that. I mean, no, do it that way. Jim, that's what Deacon Jones is saying. You follow? That's what Deacon Jones broke down. So that's the point of what I'm trying to explain to you guys. You take Roger Craig's numbers and put it up amongst them guys. Individual, insofar as the position that he played, and his resume comes up short as far as what he did as a player at that position. I'm not gonna sit up there and pat his head because he has 3 rings. You don't put a guy in the Hall of Fame just because they have 3 rings. When the quarterback, he's judged a little bit different, but you don't put a quarterback in there. You don't just put some guy in there because he was on the team that won 3 rings. Hell, Robert Horry has 7? Is he in the NBA Hall of Fame? Next question, man. His numbers don't add up. His numbers do not add up to them other guys. Was he a great back? Could he do it? Yeah, but he couldn't do enough. Just like what's happening right now. Alvin Kamara has all these touchdowns, stuff like Alvin Kamara has not even rushed for 1,000 yards since he came in the league. He hasn't rushed for 1,000 yards since high school. Okay? Since high school. When is his Thurman Thomas moment? When is his Marshall Faulk moment? When is his LaDainian Tomlinson moment? Hell, even Chris McCaffrey didn't have that particular moment. If you want to say the Roger Craig moment or whatever, hey, man, that's what I'm saying. So, you guys can go back and forth. Like I tell you guys, numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. And that's what I see. He's not going to be up in there. Last thing, somebody asked me about the whole thing about Phillip Rivers going in the Hall of Fame. Phillip Rivers won't be a first ballot Hall of Famer or a second ballot Hall of Famer, probably third ballot Hall of Famer. He has the number. He has the numbers. He has the numbers. He has the all the gutsy, tough guy, this, that, and the other, and all this other kind of stuff and whatnot. But it's gonna take a while for him to get in there. 8. I think went to 8 Pro Bowls. Never was a first team All Pro. Never was an MVP. Never was Offensive Player of the Year. Nothing like that. Played a long time. Put up a lot of yards and stuff like that or whatever. Led the league once in passing and in touchdowns once before and everything like that. But they never won the big one. Never was consistently in the playoffs at all. That just goes to show you something that goes over there in San Diego. The leadership over there has always kind of been iffy. You know what I'm saying? Always kind of been iffy. Never to the point of getting to the point of being basically like the Detroit, but damn near close in some years. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. So it's just like, yeah, second, probably third ballot Hall of Famer. And that's what I'm saying. Your different levels of Hall of Famers. Did you transcend the game? What did you do with the game and whatnot and stuff? So yeah. So that's the way I kind of look at it. Man, that's like so yeah, that's for a little big Tex Comment Corner, man, and whatnot. I get quick picks on the game. Like I said, I got to be in the State Farm Super Bowl. I got Green Bay over Tampa, and I still got Kansas City. I might have Kansas City over Buffalo. I think they can get it done. Like I said, Saints should have won last week. poor play from Drew Brees. Poor play. Poor play from Drew Brees, straight up and down and whatnot. So that's how that goes there, man. But look, just wanted to hit y'all with the Big Tex Comments Corner. Got any other questions, anything like that, let me know. Like I tell you guys all the time, there's no GOAT, there's no greatest of all time as long as time's still going on. And I can tell you guys all the time, it's for these Roger Craig jokers. Numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. Y'all have a good one.